up, my peeps? This is Tarot Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, bringing you a review of Guapa, the Invisible Light Tarot. So you can find the Invisible Light Tarot on Etsy. Sorry, whoa, extreme blowout. So you can find this on Etsy. Just type in Invisible Light Tarot on Etsy and you should be able to come across the shop. But I will also put the shop's information or a link down below so you can easily access it. Okay, so obviously an independent deck. So this is by a lovely artist, and I'm just gonna kind of brighten this up so you can see that front is actually a photograph. So here you have the sun, and you have some of the clouds, and the rest is dark. So it's kind of that. It kind of goes along with the name, the Invisible Light Tarot. Okay, so this is by Brandy Eve Allen. It's a 78 card tarot deck consisting of the full major minor arcana translated through photographs, images by Brandy Eve Allen, and it comes with an original card guidebook. Okay, so yes, very sturdy box, and then we pull out our cards here, all fancy like, and I have my guidebook at the bottom actually, so let's pull that out. I always like to take a look at the guidebook, you know, even though I know I read intuitively and all that jive, it's always good to, for me, it's like kind of respectful to just at least take a gander on how people interpreted the major and minor arcana, you know, how the author might have done it, or the artist. In this case, the author is the artist. So I like to take a look at that. So here's her little guidebook. So for me, kind of flipping through, there's a nice little quote over here. She has some spready goodness, and then she goes right into the majors. So it has, to me, it's kind of a traditional meaning for the cards, but there's a little bit of like her own way of saying that interpretation. It's like her own language, her own speech coming through. And then we have some keywords down at the bottom, and you'll find that kind of as you go through the whole thing here. Oops. And then it's divided into the elements. Okay, so that is it, and a little bit about her at the back. Okay, so just kind of a quick flip through of the guidebook. So let's look at the cards here, and first let's look at the cards. So you can see here, if my thing wants to focus, that it's a matte finish. It's that type of matte where any oils on your fingers tend to kind of rub off on here, which kind of gets a bit annoying, but I kind of like a matte smooth finish. Okay, so I would say the cards are oracle size in nature, so almost as large as my hand. They are they have some bend to them, but they're also quite sturdy, you know, and I kind of feel that coating on there so that they don't get all janky, you know. Okay, so I want to look at the sides here. So I didn't quite notice it when I bought the deck, like online, but I noticed it as it's in my hot little hands, is that it has somewhat of a silver edging. It's very subtle, but I think it's beautiful. Okay, so let's look at her cards. I've been using this quite a bit, so they are out of order. Okay, so she used basically old film. So there was, it's infrared film, you know, actual film, you know, camera. And I just love, I love her interpretation of these images. There's a lot of nudity in here. So if you are offended by nudity, maybe you don't want to look at this deck. If you're not, and you're over 18 years old, then okay. Maybe I'll put that disclaimer in the information box. Yeah, but as a photographer myself, I love her artistic point of view. That's why I have so many tarot decks and oracle decks, is because I do love the artistic point of view of an artist. You know, you could have, you know, the traditional meaning, let's say, of what's in my hand right now, the Page of Earth or the Page of Pentacles. But every artist has kind of their own way of seeing things, and I think that's why I have so many decks, is because I get a different feeling depending on the deck that I have. I love that Queen of Earth. Ah, Yes, 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 yes. I love the use of depth of field. I love, it's just, yes. Exposure is good. I do love, I think in some places there is bokeh and some there's not. I love this one. And even one of my friends who's not like a big tarot person, he thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, the energy of this is kind of like a good friend, you know, when I'm working with it and trying to gain insight. It's like a really honest friend. Not afraid to give me the truth of things, but in such a way where I'm not putting up walls or barriers as I'm hearing about it, if that makes any sense. You know, sometimes we go on the defense, you know, when we hear things that we don't like. But this does it in such a way it's like, hey, I'm just trying to be your friend here. I'm just trying to help you out. You know, you could take my advice or leave it, but I'm looking out for your highest good. That's kind of what I'm getting from this deck. I will say that when I originally got it, I always go through my decks and make sure I have all my cards. You know, I don't just automatically start working with the deck because I've only had really on one other occasion where I was missing a card. Maybe it was 2 other occasions. So I'm kind of paranoid. So I realized I was missing the 4 of Fire or the 4 of Wands. So I contacted Brandy Eve Allen, and she was more than happy to send me a new card. It was like in my hands like 2 days later, which was awesome. Yeah. She's a wonderful person. So not only a fantastic artist, but she's a pleasure to communicate with as well. So I think that positive energy comes through her deck. And it was nice because she lives in Los Angeles, which is literally like 2 hours north of me. So mail will get to me rather quickly. So yeah, I've been keeping this deck on next to my bedside too. Whenever I get a new tarot deck or oracle deck or whatever, even if I get some new stones, I always keep them on my bedside table or put them next to my bedside, or if it's like in the case of stones, I like to sleep with them under my pillow. Of course, after I've like saged everything, because I always think that, you know, there's so many energies that get attached to it, like the mailman dropping it off or mail lady. It could have been, you know, the people touching it in manufacturing, cutting the cards, printing. There's so many energies that come in contact with your decks and stones before they're in your hot little hands. So I always make sure that I just kind of like sage them of all that, and then that way it's like really truly just vibrating with my own energy. But I do that with anything that I buy that's really going to be used closely with me, like used clothing, like at the thrift store, any thrift store finds. I tend to just give them a quick scrub down, energetically speaking. I like that one. That's one of the ones I think I just put on my nightstand just because I thought it was phantasmical. This one's come up for me a lot, Justice, but it's, you know, Justice is Libra and I am a Libra moon, so it's been coming up. All right, so let me show you guys how we can get a little shuffle. I'll lay out 3 cards just so you can see how they look side by side. And then, yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and give it a shuffle. I'm just going to pull out 3 cards. Okay, so we'll go 1, 2, 3. So there you go. The Fool, 4 of Earth, Queen of Water. So I wasn't asking a particular question. I just want you guys to see how this looks aesthetically. All right, so let me know if you guys have any questions. If you guys are working with this deck and you currently have it, let me know how it works for you or the personality that you have coming through with this deck. And that's it. All right. So if you would like to book a reading with me, you know that you can do that by hitting the information box down below or one of the boxes that pops up here. If you specifically would like to work with this deck, just let me know upon booking. Okay. All right. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. And I'll see you later. Peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.